I was always raised to ask the question why and never to stop until I got a good answer as to why, to understand things. And that was both at home and in the school I was in. My horizons never stretched probably much beyond Galway in Ireland until someone opened the door for me to have a job in London. Starting out in one of those high street accounting firms we've all heard about with 6 people, kind of pulling till rolls together for butchers' shops and everything else. And I suppose what then got me to where I am today was continuing to pursue what was in front of me, in one sense of what's the next thing I want to learn? What's the next thing I want to understand more about? Which people are around me that can help me learn that? And the more I did that, the more I found that people would say, hey, do you want to have a go at working in this team? Do you want to try something like that? And opportunities kept opening up because one of the things I did was I stayed curious, and I still am. I'm insanely curious about the world, the people in it, what we can all do. And that's what's kept me going and got me to probably where I am today. My name is Barry Murphy. I'm a partner at PwC, and one of the most important parts of my day job here at the moment is that I'm part of our global leadership team and what we're doing with organizations, businesses, and institutions around the world on the whole ESG agenda. What does it mean? What has to change? What has to move? Now, an organization like PwC, that's a pretty complex job. We're in, most of the countries in the world. We have about 250,000 people that work with PwC. So part of my job is trying to get people to work together, to understand what clients need, to shape our services, how we train and develop people, and to think about how we use our resources to help make change happen in the world. That's part of my job. It means different things to different companies. I'll come on to that. Fundamentally for me, it is how do we make sure we have a planet that we can all live on together in a way that's inclusive and more equal. That's a big enough challenge in itself. I'm not suggesting I can solve that. And it's going to take everybody, including anyone listening to this video, to solve that. So for some organizations, let's say like oil companies, for them, it's a huge piece of how do they figure out how to basically kind of decommission or stop kind of taking oil out of the ground and having us burn it in fuels or anything else. What does that mean for the people who work there? What does it mean for where they have operations? And it goes through to let's say some of the technology companies we're working with. How do they develop new technologies for the future? That could be around renewable energy. It could be about, helping us to work from home and save travel cost and business travel, and how are they developing that? For others, they're looking at what's the new way of impacting the society around them. Are they doing enough? Let's take the levelling up agenda in the UK. Our organisation is doing enough to think about, well, I don't always have to bring my employees or my staff to one location. And typically, London features heavily in that. But how can I expand out? How can I work with universities or schools around the country and develop people and their skills, their creativity and ambitions for the future? So it's a massive range of things. When we talk about ESG, that's everything from thinking about the environment, its impact on your business, our society, right through to the S of ESG, all about people, how we live in the world, how we work together, how we make sure everybody, has a dignified way of life. And G is all around governance. How do we make sure the systems are in place? We're able to run what we do well in businesses. But also, how do we let other people hold us to account? How do we be more transparent about targets we set to do some of the things I've just talked about and let other people kind of call us out when we're not doing that well enough? One would definitely be whether we call it creative problem solving or design thinking or whatever way you want to frame it, that ability to look at whatever the problem is and go, all right, what are the options here? What are all the possible ways we could think about solving this? Who do I need around me to come up with the ideas to do that? That's a key skill for the future. Another key skill for the future is how we interact with the other. So developing kind of your emotional intelligence, your empathy, your ability to interact with others, that's still at a massive premium, even in the world of social media, the digital age, they're the kind of skills we as a large employer, and when I say we as a large employer, I mean this is around the world. These are some of the common things we're looking for. So that's why, for instance, people say, well, Barry, how come you are hiring, I don't know, people who've studied English, or people who've studied geography or sports science into some of your accounting? Because what we're really looking for is kind of those fundamental skills, the curiosity to learn, the appetite to get stuck in, far more than kind of just hire based on the degree you've had, because it relates directly to the job. Number one would be not to allow myself to be cynical. Hold on, what's this person trying to get out of me? Because to be honest, what I've found is you'll always find somebody like that who just wants to do something to get something for themselves. But overall, people are good. They do try and help. So be curious. Don't be cynical about why people might want to say, join a program, jump in here, work with us or whatever, and be open to exploring the opportunities. Number two would be the belief in yourself. So I'm sure lots of people have heard about imposter syndrome, where you think, do I belong? Am I going to get found out? Or, I don't think I fit. Do you know what? You probably do fit. You probably are good enough. You're probably as good as anybody else. So allow yourself to believe that. Never become arrogant would be something, but believe you can do it and give it your best, and know that if you find out, one of my children plays a lot of sports and he's just got his first contract. And it was about, believe in yourself. When you've tried everything you can and as hard as you can, you'll know whether it's the type of thing for you or not. So believe in yourself. And then the third, I suppose, tip, if someone was to have given it to me, would be constantly look for what's happening today that's going to shape things in 10, 20 years' time. I don't mean you have to go and be a research graduate, but just keep your eyes on what's going on in the world. Read the news, listen to the news, explore kind of what's out there, and figure out where's the world going. So what are the skills I might need to keep brushing up on to remain relevant?